Okay, A says if the president and vice president are selected, what is the probability that they are both Democrats? Okay, first of all, you're being asked about probability. So, you're going to have a denominator, and in the denominator, it'll be the total number of ways you can choose a president and a vice president out of the 11 members. Because you're choosing specific positions, this problem is a permutation. So it's going to be 11 members, and I need permutations of 2 people. The numerator will be what's the probability that they are both Democrats. There are 5 Democrats, so it's going to be a permutation of 5p2. So when I grab my calculator and I do the math, I end up with, scroll back on my calculator where I had it. There it is. I have 0.181818 blah blah blah, and of course it's rounded to the nearest thousandth, and it says round to the nearest 3 decimal places, so that's the 3rd decimal place. Since that's an 8, my answer is going to be 0.182. And that is problem A. Now, problem B. If a 3-person committee is selected at random, what is the probability that Republicans make up the majority? Well, once again, we're doing a probability, so my denominator needs to be the total number of ways you can get a 3-person committee out of the 11. Now, this is a committee. Order doesn't matter, so this one's a combination. So it's still 11 members, but I need a combination of any 3, a 3-person committee, okay? Now, for the part where it says where the Republicans make up the majority, the majority means more than half. If you have the majority of votes, you have more than half. Well, there's only 3 people on this committee. Half of 3 is 1.5. If you take 3 and divide it in half, you get 1.5. And obviously you can't have 0.5 of a committee member. So you have to have at least 2 or all 3 to make up the majority. So I've got 2 combinations here. For the first one, if I'm looking at 2 people, that means, let's see, there are 6 Republicans. So I need 6 combinations of any 2 Republicans. However, I also have to have from the Democrats 1 person, and there were 5 Democrats. When it says or, that's where you put in the plus sign, and then if all 3 are Republicans, that would just be 6C3. Now this will be a lot of fun to type into your calculator. You're going to need to use parentheses for your numerator, and then when you hit the division sign, it'll do a backslash. So I'm going to do this in my calculator. Hang on. And I get 0.57575, and again to the 3 decimal places. So that's the 3rd decimal, that's the 7, so it's 0.576, which is what the correct answer is there. Just make sure that you put parentheses here, and make sure you put a multiplication dot in between there, and just type it from left to right on your calculator screen. If you try to set it up using the fraction button, it's going to give you a fraction answer, and I don't remember how to switch from fractions to decimals in here, so I just type it as one long line, and of course this thing would go back here, and it gives me the answer. So I hope that helps.